Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Turn 3 Racing Network. As tonight we are here at Talladega for the Mission 22 Dega, and that race is provided by none other than the driver of the 4 machine, and that is Mike Massengill. Mike, how you doing out there tonight?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Kara?
Oh, not too bad. Tonight's race is the Mission 22 at Talladega. What can you tell us about this race here tonight?
Mission 22 is a nonprofit organization that helps with first responders and veterans in combating the suicide rate that's way out of range right now. It's called Mission 22 because as of right now, it's 22 veterans a day are committing suicide, and that number is just way too high.
I would agree with you there. That is a very tragic stat to have. But here at Racing for a Cause Vaportrail Cup Series, each driver can pick a race to sponsor. You've picked Talladega and the Mission 22. So what can you tell us about the race, what it means to you here tonight, and what kind of awareness would you try and bring about?
Well, Talladega, I just love Talladega. It's a great super speedway, but the main reason why I picked this track is it's the day after Veterans Day. I figured it'd be great to do that tribute the day after Veterans Day, giving recognition to the veterans and also letting everybody else know what is actually going on out there with veterans with the suicide rate and everything else. It's just a great cause to me. There's several causes out there that's trying to combat this, and it's working to an extent, but just not working fast enough.
Well, Mike, tonight's event is a worthy cause for sure. What can we expect out of the 4 machine?
Well, to make it through and finish the race, first of all, but we're going to try to hang around in the back for a while and see what happens. And then when we get the second half of the race, everybody's on their own. We're going to do what we can to get up front and try to keep it up there.
All right, man. Well, qualifying has started, so we'll let you get out there and get your laps in. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us, and good luck in your race tonight.
Thank you, Kara.
That is the driver of the 4 machine, Mike Massengill, stopping by to give us a quick word about his race here tonight. But qualifying has started, and we really haven't even done our intros, as we are so pressed for time because this guy who's pushing all the buttons is a little bit behind. So guys, I would like to welcome into the booth tonight my good buddy Dave Worrell. Dave, how you doing tonight?
Doing good, KR. Gonna have another great race here on a big, fast super speedway. Gonna be great to call another one with this high-paced, high-banked action with you. New here for the Racing for a Cause League, so interesting to see what they can do and what kind of show they put on out there.
Well, it's going to be an interesting and insightful race here at Talladega. Right now, we're watching the 35 of Matthew Spinks as he is out on track trying to set up his qualifying time. I want to give a huge shout out to all our fans on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining us here tonight. Hope you all enjoy the show. Sit down, grab a beverage of choice, enjoy the racing action that is coming at you. Right now, the 85 machine of Jeffrey Styles on top of the leaderboard. That 85 machine trying to qualify on pole. See if he can get it done. And Dave, you join me on Monday nights for a super speedway series that we do every Monday night that visits Talladega, Daytona, and Daytona 2007. You are very knowledgeable about these tracks, so what can we expect here tonight in the Cup car?
I wouldn't say I'm very knowledgeable. I'm just kind of lucky, but I mean, same kind of action we're used to. Gonna be close door to door, hanging right on the quarter panels of the guys around you, trying to slow the momentum down in that opposite lane, build your momentum up, and we're probably going to see lead change after lead change. I mean, you've all seen it. You all know what this is about, this style of racing. Things happen in an instant. and you got to be fast with your reaction time, otherwise you could be caught up in it. But, I don't know who the fast guy is or who the guys that are going to jump that 3 wide line, but I'm ready to find out.
Well, so far, 16 cars have turned in a qualifying time. John Johnson in the 22 machine on pole, but the 08 of Tom Quattlebaum out on track right now as he is trying to lay down a quick lap. Quattlebaum sitting in 6th place for the moment. So guys, we're going to step away for the national anthem. No one go anywhere. We'll be back for the starting lineup.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Turn 3 Racing Network. As right now I am going through a bit of an internet issue. Please bear with me as I try and work this out. But drivers are starting to take to the grid. That means it is time to go through our starting lineup, brought to you by the Racing for a Cause Vaportrail Series. John Johnson in the 22 machine on the front row with Doug Johnson in the 8 machine. Row number 2 will be the 99 of Justin Rigsby and the 21 of Christopher Spencer. Row 3 will be the 3 of Chad Meadows and the 08 of Tom Quattlebaum. Row 4 will be the 35 of Matthew Spinks and the 6 of Eric Blount. Row 5 will be the 51 of Dylan Blankenship and the 45 of Doug Wysocki.
Starting inside row number 6, the 23 of Bobby Summers and the 69 of Rick Greenaway. Row number 7, Joe Saunders in the 44, followed by Jeffrey Stiles in the 85. Row number 8, Aaron Tolhurst in his 98 machine and Chris Medford in his 46. Row number 9, Russell Brown Jr., followed by Joshua Spalding. Row number 10, the 17 of A.J. Rogers, and 94 of Troy Radford.
Row 11 will be the 55 of Steve Baker and the 82 of Tyler Hilton. Row 12, the 28 of Dustin German and the 65 of Brian Miskell. Row 13, Cade Green in the 19 and the 88 of Dale Osmond. Row 14, Damon Cox in the 57 and the 31 of Ricky Harden. Row 15 will be the 9 of Dustin Ping and the 4 of Mike Massengill.
row number 16, the 47 of Ray Radford and Stephen Allen in the 14. Row number, that's it, KR.
That's going to make our starting lineup here tonight. Drivers coming around to take a green flag. We're still having our internet issues. Hopefully this will level out and we can get good quality racing in for all of you out there tonight. John Johnson in the 22 machine in control of the field. Here we go with the long wait between the time the pace car peels off and the time the green flag drops. And here we go, green flag is out and the Johnsons on the front row pulling away as the 21 machine of Christopher Spencer just did not get rolling. That outside lane really filed back a lot, but Johnson in the 22 out front with the 39, or I'm sorry, that's the 99 of Justin Rigsby. Down the backstretch into turn 3, drivers getting single file very quickly. And John Johnson out front with Justin Rigsby in second. Doug Johnson in the 8 machine dropping down to third. Fourth place right now is the 3 of Chad Meadows. And Doug Johnson making a move to the outside here. But John Johnson gonna lead our first lap. Side by side down the backstretch they go. Drivers battling up front here. Everyone starting to find their groove. And now the 99 of Justin Rigsby making a move for the front as he drops down to the inside lane. Doug Johnson in the 8, he's going to follow suit of the 99. He makes his move down to the inside, but here comes the 51 of Dylan Blankenship. And Blankenship going to be out front in that 51 machine, registering his first lap lead of the race. Hopefully Dave will be able to make it back here soon. He has stepped away for just a moment. If we can't get back caught up with Dave, but Dylan Blankenship in the 51 machine currently holding on to the lead, but trying to make it 3 wide as the 21 of Christopher Spencer. No one working with the 21 just yet, as he is all by himself on that high side. Meanwhile, Doug Johnson in the 8. He is going to lead this lap, but the 99 of Rigsby trying to make a move on him once again. As the field gets all sorts of bunched up. And Doug Johnson in the 8 looking out the front at some clean air. Drivers battling side by side. We started a full field of cars here tonight. 32 cars taking the green flag, and all 31 drivers are within 2.8 seconds of each other. Ray Radford in the 47 machine looks like he is fallen off of the lead pace a little bit here. That 47 machine, without the help of a draft, is going to be very slow. And Dave, you can attest to being a slow driver.
Yeah, KR, you got me now?
I can hear you now, buddy.
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said because I'm usually in front of you on the track, so I don't know where slow plays into that. But, I mean, the top 15 are all within 1 second of each other, and something I'm noticing is 2 distinct packs already forming here early. Only 5 now coming to the 6th lap out of this 75 lap race. So already 2 packs starting to develop. Wonder if that second pack is going to stay back there or if they're going to motor their way back up to this front, back where Doug Johnson's still leading the charge on the inside lane. Justin Rigsby still leading that outside lane. They're side by side once again down the backstretch as they head to turn 3.
Rigsby leading the outer lane. He's got Dylan Blankenship in the 51 all over his back bumper. And then Blankenship has Joe Sanders in the 44 machine right there with him. Sanders right now started in 13th place and has quickly moved into the top 5. He is wasting no time getting up to the front of this field.
And I've got my eye right now on these cars back. I won't say back in the back, but back in this little small pack. It looks like most of them are starting to just single file. It looks like they're pretty content with the distance they have. So it looks like some drivers approaching this with a little bit of a cautious or calm attitude early here at Talladega.
Yeah, it has been a very smooth 7 laps so far as we are working lap 7 here. But the drivers, they do know 75 laps to go. No fast repairs, so everyone being very gentle with each other right now.
Well, gentle is good till the end of the race. Then it's gonna be all take, no give. But I mean, you know how that is. You've raced with me at Daytona, so I mean, you might be a little bit light here early. Later on, we're gonna see some hard charging, hard pushing out of all of these drivers.
Checking in on Miss Linda's favorite driver. That is the 88 machine, Dale Osmond. Right now, Dale currently finds himself in 19th spot. He is working that inside line. He is tucked in behind the 94 Troy Radford. These two drivers, I'd be keeping my eye on them throughout the race. They will find a way to the front as long as they got all 4 tires still on the car.
Gonna need those 4 tires to finish this thing, that's for sure. I mean, you could always finish on your lid. I think I did that.
I finished on my lid a couple of times, but it is what it is. Everyone's out for a good time here right now, racing for our cause. Vaportrail Cup Series Mission Dega 75. Honor the Mission 22 and all that entails here on this Veterans Day race. We got a quick word in with Mike Massengill, and very appreciative of the insight that he had. And right now, if we want, let's go ahead and check where Mike is running in that 4 machine. That 4 machine sitting in 26th place, hugging that bottom line right behind the 31 of Ricky All-Star Harden. But Mike started 30th, has moved up a little bit, and now finds himself in 26th spot. You have a long way to go in this race. 75 laps is a long time here at Talladega, Dave.
It most certainly is, and without a stage break or multiple stage breaks, that changes a lot of the game, a lot of how you approach things. Fuel may be around the same depending on how much the percentages these drivers are allotted. So 75 laps, man, it's a long time out there.
Right now, our race leader is Doug Johnson in the 8 machine. He has led the most laps so far. He has been out front for 7 laps. And Doug doing a really good job out here tonight in this 8 machine. Hopefully that 8 can find its way to victory lane. But I'll tell you, there are a lot of hungry drivers trying to find a way around him. One of those being the 99 of Justin Rigsby.
And Rigsby has been up there this entire time, just not able to to pull by and clear and get down to that bottom lane. Him and Johnson back and forth, lap after lap. Chad Meadows in the 3 right there. Dylan Blankenship also. The driver just kind of been stuck. Eric Blount also right there in that 6 Autism Speaks Ford Mustang. I mean, these drivers are just kind of stuck. They're not going anywhere. Nobody looking like they want to go 3 wide just yet. Back in the back. It looks like 3 wide starting to develop around the 10th position. So maybe we'll see that high, wide, and handsome line come into play here at Talladega as we come back to the line to take lap 13. Will that inside prevail? Looks like Doug Johnson is going to get it at the line.
Christopher Spencer, the driver who's been trying to make that 3rd lane work, continuing to fall back as no one wants to work with him. And we got a shout out for Tom Quattlebaum in the 08. Right now, Quattlebaum in 11th place has fallen back a bit since qualifying. But he is right now on that inside lane. Looks like he is going to be trying to get moving forward, working with the 85 of Jeffrey Stiles right behind him. But again, up front, it continues to be Doug Johnson in the 8, the 22 machine of John Johnson right there with him. Those two working that inside line and laying down some very quick laps as no one has been able to nose out in front of the 8 machine just yet.
And as those drivers are pretty much stuck in gear, so to speak, well, hopefully they're stuck in gear. Obviously, if it slips out of gear, it's going to be a disaster. But even the drivers further back in the field are still side by side, still going for position. So nowhere on track is really safe until you get back around the 20th position or further. They are kind of running single file here, just trying to stay out of the way if something does happen up front. As you mentioned, KR, side by side, all 14 now make it 15 laps of this race has been Rigsby and Johnson, and back and forth Johnson and Rigsby, and just nobody going anywhere up there.
Oh, and the drivers really doing a good job of being respectful out there. A lot of room being given, and but that's going to change as we get into the later stages, as we watch the 51 of Dylan Blankenship bump draft on the 99 machine of Justin Rigsby. And here before too much longer, I think we might be seeing a few pit stops.
The good old dreaded pit stop at Talladega Super Speedway. I mean, you're carrying so much speed, KR, when you hit that apron. You're trying to load the car up without eating the tires up, because you may decide to just take fuel. These tires usually aren't usually that valuable unless it's late, long run. Then maybe you'll want those tires. So you got to be careful not to slide through your box, not to flat spot them when you're coming on the pit lane, not to run anybody over when they're going.
Ray Radford in the 47, about ready to be swallowed up by the field, but he is going to hit pit road along with everyone else. Big pack of cars coming down the pit lane. Ray Radford into his pit stall, but John Johnson in the 22, the 99 of Justin Rigsby, all hitting pit lane. The 6 of Eric Blount gonna stay out. The 98 of Aaron Tolhurst right there with him. That moves the 08 of Tom Quattlebaum inside the top 5, but here comes the 48 of Josh Spalding and the 55 of Steve Baker, the 28 of Dustin German, all teammates from SSR as they are making their way around the high side. But when will this next group of drivers hit pit lane? Here comes the inside lane. Here comes everyone. The 55 and the 6 trying to find some room. They get it done, but Dustin German in the 28, he got left out. He could not hit pit road, and this is going to be a disaster for the 28 machine as he will not have anyone to draft with. and he might not even be able to make it all the way around, depending on how much fuel is left in that thing, but he is our race leader for the moment.
Yeah, absolute disaster for him right now. Only car out there losing a ton of time coming back to pit road. If he can make it back to pit road, then he's got to hope and pray, KR, that he's able to sniff a little bit of a draft from somewhere. Otherwise, it's going to be a long, long night for him all alone, solo on a super speedway track. That is not where you want to be.
And to make matters worse, I think the 28 has ran out of fuel as he is coasting down pit lane.
And watching on track, KR, I think the 51 of Dylan Blankenship, along with some help from the 65 of Brian Mescal Jr., I think they may have a good shot at taking over this race lead.
As the caution flag is gonna come out, that will put the 08 of Tom Quattlebaum. Actually, that is gonna be a huge favor for Dustin German if he can get off pit road in time. And no, Tom Quattlebaum is gonna beat him across pit lane, but the 28 machine is gonna get the caution here. And I believe, I am not 100% sure who the caution was for. The 48 of Josh Spalding coming down pit road, and he is a bit tore up. Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay and see what happened to the 48 machine. The 48 just got turned hard into the outside wall as they entered turn 3. Solo car incident there. He did not collect anyone else. Man, oh man, what a lucky break for the rest of the field, and what a big contact for the 48 of Josh Spalding. But man, I'll tell you what, the horseshoe, the lucky horseshoe, has got to be in the 28 in his pit crew, because that driver got the caution right when he needed it the most. He is going to come out of pit lane after running out of fuel, unable to hit pit lane. That 28 machine is going to come out in second place. Holy cow.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't have fell at a better time for him. I mean, you couldn't plan it that good, man. Couldn't plan it that good. I'm taking him to Vegas.
So Dustin German gonna hit pit road along with everyone else, even though he had just come off pit lane. Tom Quattlebaum into his pit stall. The 21 machine of Christopher Spencer is as well. However, the 55 of Steve Baker not gonna hit pit road. Eric Blount staying out. Matthew Spink stays out. Joe Sanders stays out. All those drivers stay out. So what a turn of events that was for our first green flag pit stop. And with the yellow flag flying, guys, we're going to step away for just a minute. No one go anywhere. Be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are here in the Racing for a Cause Vaportrail Cup Series, Mission 22, Dega 75. Coming into tonight's event, our point standings look something like this. Steve Baker having the lead at 326 points. Dale Osmond right behind him, only 19 points out of the championship contention for that lead, as this race season really is starting to wind down very quickly. We are looking at just a handful of races left. This is race number 9 out of 12. So if you count this race, we have 4 more to go. That point standing is going to get a whole lot tighter, as Dale Osmond has been the hottest driver in this series, gaining points left and right, and has moved in to second place in those standings. Once again, I hope you guys are being very patient with me tonight. Not 100% sure what is going on with my internet. I'm gonna have to talk to my internet service provider. I give them way too much money to be having these issues. Well, Dave, yellow flag is out. Everyone gets a chance to slow down, check themselves, catch their breath. But we're getting ready to go back green flag racing once again.
Yes, we are. 22 laps out of 75 already in the book. So it's a good, I guess, third of the way or so through this thing. So good time to, as you said, check yourself before you wreck yourself out there. Make sure everything's working right. Make sure your car felt the way it should. Hopefully by now you may have picked out a car or two that you're looking to pit again with, should we have green flag pit stops. So, I mean, a long way still to go, so you can't get too excited just yet. But you also don't want to be too calm and let the leaders get away, let the lead pack get away. Because it is hard to gain ground when you give it up at these super speedways.
All right, Eric Blount in the 6, your race leader. Our biggest leader so far tonight, Doug Johnson, has been out front for 11 laps, but Blount now has led for 3, is about ready to be challenged. The green flag getting ready to fly once again. And Dave, why don't you take us through this green flag?
Ford butt stains lights are out once again. They're set to go back green flag racing when they hit the restart line. Eric Blunt on the inside. Matthew Spinks just outside of him. Joe Saunders right there as well. Coming to the stripe, waiting for the flag, man. We are back green flag racing at Talladega Motor Speedway. Great start on the outside lane by Spinks and Spencer. They were able to pull the 6 there momentarily, but the 44 of Joe Saunders working his way back up to Blount's bumper. Big move back there, about 6th position. I believe that may have been Doug Johnson with a little bit of a wiggle there. He jumps to that outside lane. Sorry, I believe that is Doug Johnson. No, that's Thomas Quattlebaum making a move to the outside to be the 3rd car in the outside lane up front. 35 of Matthew Spinks was able to get around Eric Blunt. And now Spencer in the 21 leading that outside lane in the Little Debbie's Ford Mustang. That's kind of making me a little bit hungry. He is hungry for the lead, crossing the line. He will be scored as the race leader. He's clear. Will he drop down? No, he stays up top with the 99 of Rigsby. As Rigsby is trying to work his way back up to the point once again here at Talladega.
Christopher Spencer in the 21 out front, leading his first lap of the race. And the 99 of Rigsby all over his back bumper. The 35 machine of Matthew Spinks working with the 6 of Eric Blount as they dive off into turns 3 and 4, Everyone running nose to tail, two very distinct lines, and now we got two distinct groups here as well. And this field is all sorts of mixed up. The 31 machine of Ricky Harden, right now, he is trying to catch up to the back of this lead pack. We'll see if he can do that here in the next few laps.
And surprisingly, I'm seeing a lot of movement out of these cars. Talladega, Daytona are usually a little bit smoother, but a lot of cars wiggling around, especially on that bottom lane. 21 now dives to the bottom. Rigsby's going to take over the lead of that outside lane. But Spencer leading again and leading the bottom lane. And just as I say that, outside goes Spinks to lead that outside lane back to the line, fighting for the lead side by side still. The momentum is going to go with Spinks. Yes, it is. Rigsby pushing the Jesus out of him. Both of those cars cleared down to the bottom. Big movement by the 8 back there behind these leaders. So KR, a lot of these cars not looking like they're handling very well.
Now everyone's really trying to scramble for positions. Tom Quattlebaum in the 08 making a big move to the outside. He's going to have the 22 machine go with him of John Johnson. And they're going to try and get the third lane going. Now John Johnson back down into that middle lane. He's going to pull alongside the 85 of Jeffrey Stiles.
And I think what happened there, I think they seen that lap car originally was running the high lane. And that's when I believe that was Johnson decided to tuck back down into that middle lane at the time. That just blew any chance that the third lane had. They go back double file once again. Spinks still leading this field 3 wide once again here for third place.
Spinks in the 35, holding that yellow line, keeping the cars behind him. Justin Rigsby in the 99 machine. Right now, he is trying to push that 35 machine to the line to lead a lap. Stiles in the 85 can't stay hooked to the back bumper of the 21. So that is going to allow a little bit of breathing room for the moment for our leader, Matthew Spinks.
In breathing room, I think that's what the 44 is doing right now, tucking out just a little bit now and then. Keep him some air going to that engine, trying to keep it cool. But eventually, I think the holes are going to close up, the runs are going to be a little too big, and we're going to end up seeing that 3 wide action. Only takes a split second for a driver to keep that nose out there too much. Open that used to be called a sucker hole, but the middle lane, KR, you know it and I know it. You time it right, you'll go to the front.
The 21 machine of Spencer going to be credited with leading that lap. Spencer up to 2 laps led here tonight. So far, Doug Johnson has led our most laps at 11 laps. But with 47 laps to go, this race is far from over.
Very far from over, as now we do see those 3 lanes developing. 2 cars in the middle. There's 4 up top, 4 or 5 down bottom, and a long string of single file runners just behind them. And you're one of those single file runners. Go ahead, y'all keep it up. We'll close this gap on the bottom and leave you guys stuck out there, and we'll have the numbers. Won't be able to go anywhere with it, but they will have the numbers, KR, and that third line just doesn't seem to be catching up to the 2-car tandem in the center of the 85 of Jeffrey Stiles and Joe Saunders. They're just kind of stuck where they're at as well. Now Sanders, not Saunders, I apologize. Sometimes KR just can't talk, you know that.
It happens. Sanders going to drop down in behind Stiles in the 35 as they head for 3 and 4. Spencer leading that inside lane, the outside lane being led by Spinks, but now Spinks gonna drop down to the inside, and this lap is gonna be led by maybe the 99 of Rigsby. And Justin Rigsby in that 99 machine is gonna lead a lap, but we have a stack up going into turn 1 as cars get out of shape. Big, heavy contact with several drivers here at Talladega. Troubles for our drivers as they head off into turn number 1. Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay and look out the nose of Troy Radford as he got into this one, following in the tire tracks of the 88 of Dale Osmond. Up ahead is where the trouble's gonna start. Going into turn 1, you see the field scatter. The 9 comes down. Oh, and Troy Radford's gonna get into the 9. But man, that was a big stack up for our drivers at the front of the field. 85 of Jeffrey Stiles, one of those caught up in it. We take another look at it. 3 wide through the tri-oval. Everyone trying to find some running room. And into the wall goes the 85, the 22, the 9 gets involved. Tom Quattlebaum looks like he was able to sneak through. I believe Dale Osmond also was able to sneak through untouched. Take another look here on board the 88. He follows Steve Baker. Both drivers take evasive action down to the bottom. And Dale was able to get through that one. So the field slowed once again. Drivers coming down pit lane. And Dave, pit stops once again coming a factor.
Yeah, that's going to change the game as far as fuel mileage is concerned. These drivers may only have to pit 2 more times from here. But KR, that wreck, as you've seen, took out a good 5 cars or more. From my counting, we all know how my counting is, though, 1, 3, 5, 7. So if I'm off, my apologies. I'm just not that good at math. But I mean, it happened right up there up front. So now, are any of these drivers thinking about that? Thinking maybe the place to be is a little further back in the field where it's a little bit calmer. Don't have those situations going on. So right around getting to the halfway point, you can't play it too cautious from here on out, but you also don't want to be involved in a big one, going for a position or the race lead with so many laps left here tonight.
All right, guys, field slowed down once again. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this.
wanted the best, you got him 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the drivers starting to form up behind the pace car. This most recent yellow has put a few cars behind the wall. Time to catch up to the drivers who have gone behind the wall for the moment. The 44 of Joe Sanders has pulled it behind the wall. Josh Spalding, who's involved in the first yellow, has been unable to rejoin the race here tonight. Rick Greenaway also gone behind the wall. His night is done early here as well. So Dave, we're looking at 3 drivers out with an early exit. We started 32 cars, only 3 drivers out for the moment, but Talladega is starting to take its toll here.
Yes, it is, and I expect that list to grow a little bit longer as we get closer and closer to the end of this thing. Just knocking on the door of halfway, and Eric Blunt leads the inside lane. I think he's going to have an advantage here when we go back. Green flag racing, pace car lights are off. But John Johnson, he was the leading the most laps up until that latest caution. He now finds himself 2 laps down, still beating and banging away on that machine down there on pit road. KR, that pace car is getting ready to duck off.
That it is. Get that Ford butt stain out of our way. We want nothing but real race cars. Oh, sorry, Eric. You're in a butt stain too. That's okay. We'll let you. But the 99 of Justin Rigsby going to be on his outside for this restart, as they have that long wait here at Talladega before the green flag drops. Row 2 for this restart. Christopher Spencer and the 21 and the 35 of Matt Spinks. Green flag is out, and back racing we go. And everyone on the throttle. Looks like we're going to get through the gearboxes cleanly here at Talladega for the Mission Dega 75. Everyone working their way through turns 1 and 2 down to the backstretch. Big separation here with a few cars at the back of the field. Everyone trying to get closed up quickly, but the battle for the lead starting to heat up.
That it is. Eric Blunt had a great start. The 21 of Christopher Spinks was able to get back to his bumper, push him and get a little bit of a comfortable lead, I would say, as side by side for second place. Third place as well, Brian Muskell Jr. third on the bottom lane down there in the 65 is dealing with Matthew Spinks running in that outside lane with Justin Rigsby. Rigsby 5 laps in his books tonight, but Eric Blunt now knocking on the door for leading the most laps. We head back down the back stretch once again, and it is surprising to see those 2 cars hang so tough this long line of 5 or 6 cars down there on the inside lane. So nobody really being able to go anywhere, nobody really breaking the draft. I believe that outside lane, KR, is about to get a little bit more company.
On to the front stretch through the tri-oval they go, and Blount in the 6 battling with the 99 of Rigsby. Each driver relying on the car behind them to give them a push. The 35 of Spinks really washed up high there as he went into turn 1. That is going to allow that inside lane to build a bit more momentum.
And I think that's just the product, KR, of pushing so deep into the corner. Sometimes when you're right tucked up on the rear bumper on that deck lid, you just can't see in front of you. That driver turns off into the corner in front of you, and you're a little bit behind the 8 ball, so to speak. You got to catch up to him, and that's usually a result of something of that nature right there, that move that we just seen out of the 35. But nonetheless, the outside lane didn't lose that much momentum as they are still side by side at the line, and it's going to go to Rigsby once again.
Rigsby leading another lap. That will be 7 laps in total for the 99 machine. But Eric Blount now is led for 8 laps as well. He is still hanging tough on the inside line, but we are on board with the 21 of Christopher Spencer looking out the back. And once again, out the front, you can see just how close these guys are racing at 195 miles an hour.
They are probably moving at times, KR, a little bit more, than that 195. Looking at closer to about 202, 203. Might not sound like that much, but when you're on the cusp of 200 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour makes a huge difference.
That it does. One driver we haven't talked a lot about here tonight, that is the 9 of Dustin Ping. Dustin Ping got caught up in our second caution, but it looks like the 9 machine not really taking a whole lot of damage in that. He finds himself right now in 8th place. And Dustin Ping, the 4th car in the outside lane, as he is working with the 17 of AJ Rogers.
Rogers is looking a little bit racy, a little bit of a wiggle back there out of him, and he's got some company, as you said, right there behind him in that 9 machine. So curious to see how these bumpers line up, KR, because one's in a Chevy, one's in a Ford. That gonna come to play into factor trying to push and bump draft down this long back stretch here at Talladega. And the 21 of Spencer still leading this thing down there on the inside lane. But what's your feelings on that, KR? You think it's that significant about the bumpers lining up?
I think a lot of research was done by NASCAR to make sure that even though the bumpers look different, the contact points for the rear bumper and the front bumper were fairly consistent. You wouldn't want to see what we saw several years ago, where the rear bumper was way up in the air, the front bumper was way down low, and they could actually pick cars up. So NASCAR addressed that situation, and even though there's a little bit of different shape, I think for the most part the contact patch is very similar. So yeah, it can pose an issue, as we did see Josh Spalding in the 48 machine get a little bit of bump draft as he went off into the corner, and it ruined his race. But yeah, for the most part, it's a solid little patch there that you can hit somebody.
It's not every day you get to hit somebody with your car and get away with it.
Not every day, no. Right now, our top 5 looks something like this: Christopher Spencer, Justin Rigsby, Matthew Spinks, Eric Blount, and AJ Rogers. Those guys all battling for the podium spots here, as we're looking at 33 laps to go. We have had a few more cars drop out of the race. The 22 of John Johnson, who started on the front row, Russell Brown in the 00, and the 51 of Dylan Blankenship. We saw Blankenship having some internet issues, and hopefully his internet can settle down. He's not the only one having internet issues tonight, and I appreciate everyone being patient with me. It is not a normal feature here for myself, and kind of disappointed in it, but we're going to try and soldier through. We hope everyone understands that there are some things that are outside our control. That being said, right now the 88 of Dale Osmond working with our pole sitter Doug Johnson. They find themselves in 14th and 15th spot. And Osmond right now trying to close up to the back bumper of Tom Quattlebaum and get into this battle. He is working his way slowly but surely to the front of this field, but right now it looks like he is stalled out a little bit. But 14th place, solid run for him in the works. He has had to have his eyes up, elbows up, avoided a few incidents, but the 88 are second place in the point standings, not faring too well right at the moment.
Drivers that are faring well, AJ Rogers and the 9 of Dustin Ping. They have went to that third lane, made up some ground. We're battling for the race lead there last lap as the 21 slides up in front of that middle lane. That's gonna allow Eric Blunt to try to take over the lead back down to the bottom once again. Blocking the run is the 21. I wouldn't necessarily call it blocking, just a term used loosely for that move. Down safely, no real big moves. Outside is the 85 being scored a lap down now. Moving out of the way, letting these drivers go and back 3 wide, looking again. That 17 of Rogers, he wants to lead bad, KR.
Rogers trying to make that third lane viable. He has got to have consistent help from the 9 of Dustin Pink, but they are going to drop in behind the 35 of Matthew Spinks. Meanwhile, the 85 of Jeffrey Stiles, who's gone a lap down here. He is the first car 1 lap down. Heavily torn up 85 machine. Got out of the way of everyone. Made a good heads-up move there to stay the course with that damaged race car. Speaking of other damaged race cars, the 94 Troy Radford, he's a bit beat up, a bit banged up. He is working with Tyler Hilton, who Hilton is finding himself 5 laps down in this event. Troy Radford is the first car 1 lap, he is the last car on the lead lap. But Ray Radford in the 47, this 3-car duo all struggling to keep pace. Tyler Hilton 5 laps down, Troy Radford last car on the lead lap, and the 47 of Ray Radford right now finds himself 2 laps down. But up at the front, Justin Rigsby gonna lead another lap here with the 99 machine. That is 10 laps led for Rigsby tonight. He is inching closer to taking over that lead lap column, just 1 lap away from tying Doug Johnson with 11 laps led.
And there is a lot of moving going on up here up front, KR. Drivers ducking out to the third lane, going to the middle lane, back to the bottom lane, up to the third lane. I've seen about 5 or 6 of these top runners in each of the lanes. The only one staying on that bottom lane this entire run so far is the 6 of Eric Blount. Brian Maskill Jr. and Damon Cox in the 57, who is running in the 10th position. A lot of movement, a lot of position changing going on, but we are close to that green flag pit stop mark, KR, so these drivers going to be looking to get down to the bottom where they get left out to dry. However, if the 21 and those drivers do get hung out, we still have a little bit of numbers. 5 guys may be able to make up some ground. They stay even. the rest of the field after the green flag pit stop cycle.
Want to check in on the 23 of Bobby Summers. Bobby Summers right now in 11th place. He is in the inside lane trying to keep up with this lead pack. He's got a little bit of space between him and the 57 of Damon Cox. Cox, who started 27th place, all the way up to 9th right now. So he has made some bold moves all race long to get up there. But I'll tell you what, this field is far from settled. As you mentioned, a lot of drivers making moves and kind of working their way back and forth down the straightaways, trying to find the fastest line.
And yet we are running out of time too to find that line and find those partners. Just about 25 laps left when we cross the line this time, and a newcomer up front, the 98 of Aaron Tolhurst. He came out of nowhere, got to the rear bumper of the 21, and they haven't looked back. They're looking to clear Rigsby on the bottom. 21, oh, right down in front of him. That's gonna leave Tolhurst out there, out to dry all alone. Now back up to that outside lane off of the exit of turn 2. Side lane gonna pull even as they work their way to turn number 3. 99 of Rigsby motors out in front, Spinks behind him, Blount to follow. Those drivers on the outside falling back now as I think everybody's single file coming to pit road this time.
Drivers hitting pit lane. Aaron Tolhurst gonna stay out, but Justin Rigsby, Matthew Spinks, Christopher Spencer all hitting pit road this time. Huge field of drivers on the pit lane.
Gonna keep my IKR on that 21. He did make a little contact with the yellow cone. Maybe the NASCAR officials might not like that. They may slap him on the wrist, or they could possibly let him go. It was just slight contact with that yellow cone, but you know how they are about saving their cones.
Aaron Tolhurst, your race leader, Dustin German, Steve Baker did not make pit stops. Everyone else came down pit road on that time. So 3 drivers not hitting pit lane, and Aaron Tolhurst in the 98, Dustin German in the 28, and Steve Baker in the 55, all gonna pit this time. So our green flag pit stop cycle will be completed just like that. The 6 of Eric Blount, though, out in front of the 17 of AJ Rogers, and Rogers gonna get to his back bumper in a hurry. These two have got to work together and try and open up a bit of a gap on the rest of the field and hold on to it, as Christopher Spencer in the 21 machine finds himself 1.8 seconds behind these 2 cars.
These 2 drivers up front, Blount and Rogers, want to get as big of a buffer zone as they can, because when those drivers behind them get up to speed and start teaming up, they are going to pick up a ton of time with the amount of cars that they have. So you want to give yourself the best shot, the best distance in between your competition. And with less than 23 laps to go, KR, these drivers cannot make it on fuel from here. Will we see another round of green flag pit stops late here in the race? Or will we see one of those dreaded cautions, possibly a green-white checkered? We're going to have to stick around and find out. I know you're going to. I most certainly will. So things could get interesting, as these guys behind your 2 race leaders are going to have a ton of ground when they get to them. What will they do when they get there?
Eric Blount, AJ Rogers are trying desperately to work together to stay out front, but Christopher Spencer has a whole lot of momentum, a whole lot of energy behind him, as he is closing in very quickly with the help from Brian Miskell Jr. in the 65 machine. I apologize, but they are closing that gap very quickly. Tom Quattlebaum right there as well. That outside lane, Justin Rigsby in the 99, and he is working with Matt Spinks in the 35. Now Spencer slides up to the high side with Miskell, and they're going to battle for the lead through the tri-oval.
Mescal known to go to the high side. Know this driver personally, KR, and he loves it up there. There you see, he had a chance to go down bottom, slot out in front of that 6 of Eric Blount, but he decided he wanted that outside lane. He's going to use that, use the momentum behind him, and try to push himself into the race lead. While I'm talking about Brian the Missile Mescal Jr., I'm going to petition for him to get the 33, because it's just kind of weird seeing him in a different number.
I'll tell you what, you apparently know him a little bit better than I do. I didn't know his nickname was the Missile, but he has been a missile out here tonight, and he is out front in that 65. But yeah, well, we'll let you talk about him a little bit more as he's battling for the lead.
That was battling for the lead there, KR. That outside line just absolutely blew the doors off of that inside lane. 21 of Christopher Spencer dives down there. That's going to allow Mescal to come back to his rear bumper. We've got a slower car just in front of this lead pack. 3 cars in the middle lane. They are able to get by the 21 without a problem. They come down to the bottom, go back into 5th position. So he's got his work cut out for him. And a man that's been making a lot of moves here is that 21 of Spencer. I have seen him go to whatever lane is moving, very conscious of where the momentum and the energy is coming from. So his spotter is doing one heck of a job telling him where to get to, as Mescal is pushing him back to the front, possibly to the lead. Just behind them, AJ Rogers now joins in to help. We'll have to wait, see what happens. They're going to leave the 21 out in the middle. And they are, here we go, 3 wide for the lead.
3 wide battle down the backstretch with 19 laps to go. Christopher Spencer got left high and dry in the middle lane. Mescal in the 65 machine now stalls out in that 3rd lane just for a moment, and everyone kind of trying to find some room to make a pass on the cars in front of them. But Rigsby, he's not worried about anyone in front of him. He's your race leader. He has been out front now for 14 laps. He is setting himself up for leading the most laps in this race.
And I'm looking through the scoring sheets, and I think right now, as we sit, if you're inside of that top 10, you are in a good place to be, because you are all within 1 second of each other. And Aaron Tolhurst was left out to dry there when everybody else pitted through the last green flag pit stop, and he managed to keep enough speed in his machine, come out and slot himself in 10th right now, rounding out that top 10. But I was a little concerned and worried he was going to lose a ton of ground, ton of positions. There you have it. There you see it. Funny things and craziness happens at Talladega sometimes. Lap car right there, 3rd lane, up next to the wall. Moves out of the way of your race leaders, as Spencer still trying to get the lead back once again here tonight. Mescal Jr. right on his rear bumper, halfway down the backstretch. So they have the momentum. They stall out just a little as the 9 takes the lead once again going into turn 3.
Dustin Ping in the 9 machine, trying to lead his first lap of the race. And Dustin, for the moment, has it secured, but that outside lane with the charge, Christopher Spencer trying to do what he can to make his presence felt. Once again, he has moved up to the front, and it has been a battle for that 21 to stay there.
Yeah, and I think it's you're fighting a losing battle a little bit right now. As I already stated, KR, these drivers can absolutely not make it on fuel from here. So you're running a higher lane, using a little bit more fuel, leading that outside lane. So they may end up having to hit pit road a little bit sooner. Most of these drivers are just going to come for a splash, but do you stretch it to make your splash as small as possible, or do you hit it early and get back out there?
I'll tell you what, it really kind of depends on who you can work with on pit road, because no matter what, you do not want to be by yourself at any point in time here at Talladega.
Absolutely do not want to be by yourself. Heck, sometimes you don't want to be with a group of cars either. There were a ton of cars that hit pit road at the same time, and they are all over the board right now. Looking back at the 57 of Damon Cox running in the 14th position. He pitted the same time that Spencer and Mescal Jr., Rigsby all pitted, but yet he has found himself almost 12 and a half seconds away from these leaders. So sometimes you just don't hit pit road with the right partners.
Right now we have 21 cars on the lead lap. Dustin German in the 28 machine, tail end of the lead lap runners. We have 26 cars out on track. Started 32, so attrition has been a bit of a factor here, but your race leader is the 9 of Dustin Ping, but Christopher Spencer challenging for it, but Ping gonna drop down to the inside. That is gonna leave the missile out to that outside lane as the front runner. Eric Blount in the 6 gonna stay hooked to his back bumper through the tri-oval. Trying to take over the top spot is the 65, but Dustin Ping at the line is gonna pip him just a little bit.
And the only comfortability that Brian has out there leading that outside lane with just help from Eric Blount is the fact that these two drivers run together in a lot of other leagues, a lot of other series, seeing them on track with each other quite often, so they are really familiar with each other. But the numbers are on that inside lane, and they are going to lose some momentum here.
So this field has been action-packed throughout most of this race. We've been locked in a lot at the front here, guys, because of how close the battle for the lead has been. I'll tell you what, our top 10 right now: Dustin Ping, Christopher Spencer, Justin Rigsby, Matt Spinks, Mescal Jr., AJ Rogers, Doug Johnson, Tom Quattlebaum, and Aaron Tolhurst make up your top 10 right now. And every single one of these drivers has a shot at winning this race tonight.
And, I mean, anybody on the lead lap, even if you are a lap down at this point, you still have a shot, because we still have 12 to make that 11 to go when they cross the line this time, KR. So if we get one of them yellow flags, that's going to group everybody up, and there's going to be nothing but intensity as Mescal Jr. drops to the inside lane. He's going to pull even with the 21 and pass him through the center of 1 and 2. That inside lane is moving down the back stretch. Back comes the 21, but I done lost my train of thought with the action on track.
Very easy to do, as I was checking in at some of the drivers at the back, or I shouldn't say at the back, at the middle of this pack here. Doug Wysocki in the 45 machine, leading another group of drivers that includes the 57 of Damon Cox, the 3 of Chad Meadows, Bobby Summers in the 23 included in this one, the 31 of Ricky All-Star Harden there as well, and then Mike Massengill in the 4 machine, who finds himself 1 lap down. These guys all trying to work together and trying to close the gap up to our race leaders. But man, I'll tell you what, this battle for the front is seeing some 3 wide action now as they are coming up on lap traffic. That is the 19 of Cade Green, the 28 of Dustin German, and the 55 of Steve Baker.
Just that lap, we seen what I had alluded to earlier, the middle lane utilized by the 21 in the 6 to get a big run and motor on past that inside lane as Mescal Jr. now jumps to the outside once again as they head to turn number 1. 9 laps left to go. double file, 2 rows deep for the race lead. Just behind them, lurking, is the 99 of Justin Rigsby. Just kind of hanging out, waiting to see what happens in KR. We are getting closer and closer to the end of this thing and to the end of these drivers' fuel tanks.
It is going to be very close for our drivers on fuel and on getting to that checkered flag, as the 21 of Spencer is going to drop down. Green flag pit stops happening once again, and we see a few drivers hit pit lane. Eric Blount and Miskell Jr. all staying out for the moment, and that lap is going to go to Eric Blount as your leader on the inside lane. He's got the 99 of Rigsby working there with him, the 35 of Spinks as well. 3 cars hooked up on that bottom lane, trying to make it 4 with the lap down car, the 28 of Dustin German. But now Miskell gonna drop in to 4th place. Eric Blount out front. When will these drivers hit pit road?
Look for them to hit it this time. There you have it. They are on pit road right now, but I've got my IKR on the 08 and the 8.
Spinks in the 35 got on the binders, locked it up, tagged that inside wall as he tried to come onto pit road. And Matthew Spinks in the 35 gonna lose a little bit of ground there. Hopefully the damage isn't too much, but up front for the drivers who have made pit stops, the 46 machine of Chris Medford, the 98 of Aaron Tolhurst, and the 21 of Christopher Spencer, all battling it out for our race lead, it would seem, as they're coming around to take over the top spot. But the 99 of Rigsby trying to get up to speed here. This one's going to be close when they rejoin the track.
Yes, it is. And I mean, I had my eye on Thomas Quattlebaum and Doug Johnson because they were actually the first ones to hit pit road, but they didn't have the numbers to do anything with it. They made up some ground, but just not enough, as they are running 8th and 9th right now. Miskell Jr. off of pit road, trying to get to the rear bumper of Rigsby before this big pack of cars catches up to them. And it looks like Spencer is going to be there by the time they hit turn 1. So things shaking up here at the end to give us a good one.
So right now, Justin Rigsby in the 99, your race leader. But here comes the field as Rigsby battling with everyone. He's going to get passed by a lot of momentum in the outside lane. The Missile in the 65 machine using that middle lane to his advantage out front once again.
And I was surprised to see that 46 jump to the outside lane right there, KR, because they had a run. They could have just motored on by the slower cars up there on the high lane, but he ducked out. Nobody went with him. Spencer stayed with Miskell. That put a little bit of a pick on that 46 of Chris Medford. Now that inside lane, just 2 cars. That's going to hurt the momentum as Rigsby goes back to the lead with Spencer on his bumper.
A lot of cars here battling for the race lead. That is 9 cars. In 9th place right now is the 88 of Dale Osmond. Osmond came into tonight 2nd place in the point standings. The hottest driver on the circuit as far as for gaining a point. Slowly and throughout this entire race, he has been working his way to the front, finally breaks into the top 10, but he is quickly running out of laps to get this race win with 4 laps to go now.
4 laps to go, 4 cars on the inside lane, 4 cars on the outside. Inside lane is pulling strong right now. Rigsby right on the left rear quarter. Contact with the 21. He keeps it moving, keeps it straight. Big move outside now by the 98 to lead the outside lane. That's going to leave Mescal Jr. down on the bottom with the help from the 21. And drivers jockeying hard now for positions as we come around turn 3 and 4. And we get back to the line with just 3 laps left here at Talladega Super Speedway.
Our pole sitter, the 8 machine of Doug Johnson. Right now he is in position to set himself up for a race win. He is in this lead pack, but he has got to make some bold moves to make it happen with 3 laps to go. Aaron Tolhurst trying to pick up his 2nd win of the season, but Justin Rigsby looking for his 1st win here in the Racing for a Cause, and Tolhurst is going to go around. He's going to collect Dustin German, but Aaron Tolhurst in the 98 spinning down the backstretch, bringing out the caution flag with 3 laps to go. Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay as Cade Green got involved in that as well. But the 98 of Aaron Tolhurst is going to get a bump from the 65, get spun. Dustin Ping, Cade Green getting a little bit of contact as well. Take another look at it from the nose cam of Cade Green. With some damage sustained by the 9, the 19, and Aaron Tolhurst, who was trying to get his 2nd win of the season. All these drivers getting torn up, and Aaron Tolhurst heading for pit road along with the 9 of Dustin Ping. Not a good sign for these drivers, but the 99 of Justin Rigsby, your race leader, the yellow flies once again here at Talladega.
And if the action wasn't intense enough at that point in time, we are getting ready to go for our first green-white checkered attempt. And I am sure you haven't seen nothing yet. There's going to be some big pushes, some big sudden moves at a lot of these front runners. You are likely to see a lot of big moves out of cars in the rear of the field as well. Just trying to gain a few more points. As we said, the races are running out. Time is not on your side here for the RFC Vaportrail Cup Series. Struggled with that one. Vapor.
All right, so with that caution flag flying, a lot of drivers not electing to come down pit road. Chad Meadows in the 3 is the first driver. Pit lane is pitting all the way from 11th spot. So with that being said, let's see if we can't take a moment to talk to a few of the drivers here. And let's start with the 6 machine. I believe this is Eric Blount. Eric, you got your ears on, bud?
Yes, sir.
Well, that 6 machine has led 11 laps here tonight. Right now you find yourself in 7th place. What can you tell us about the race here tonight?
So far it's a lot of good racing. That's real good green flag laps. The field is really tight on speed. There's nobody can just walk away with it, so it's gonna be a fight to the end.
Now, sitting in 7th place with a green-white checkered attempt on order here, what kind of moves are you thinking about trying to make, try and win this thing?
I'm just gonna try to stay in line until maybe that white flag lap and see where I'm at, who I can push or who I can get a push from.
All right, Eric. Well, man, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. Before we let you go, any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to all you guys up in the booth. They do a great job. This merge of leagues is awesome. We're all looking forward to all the upcoming events. So you guys keep doing a great job.
All right, that is the driver of the 6 machine, Eric Blount. giving us a quick word in. Thank you very much, Eric. And Dave, how about you pick the next one?
Let's see here. Why don't you see if we can't get in a word with let's go with Ricky Harden.
Ricky All-Star Harden in the 31 machine. Ricky, you got your ears on, buddy?
Yes, sir.
All right, Dave, take it away.
Well, Ricky, first time seeing you on track, first time with Racing for a Cause out there. It looks like the front end of your machine has seen a little bit of better days, but tell us a little bit about your race and how some of that contact may have happened.
That was the first big one there on the front stretch going into one. Tried to woe it down and just no room, locked it up and slid into the back of Troy and then got hit from behind. So just kind of in survival mode now.
Well, I mean, it's a testament to your driving and your perseverance to stay out, stick it out. That first caution was quite a handful of laps ago, so hats off to you for toughing it out in a little bit of a banged up machine. Doesn't look too bad, but what's your thoughts here on this green-white checkered attempt? You think you can possibly steal a few positions from the drivers in front of you and around you?
Yeah, I can probably pick up a few more. I'm sure it's going to get a little crazy here at the end. So like I said, just kind of hang back, be patient, don't cause no problems, and kind of just pick up what scavenge whatever's left out there.
All right, Ricky, well, we do appreciate you taking a moment to speak with us up here in the booth. Before we let you go and talk to your crew chief again, would you like to give any shout outs to anybody out there watching?
Yeah, shout out to my wife for sitting up here and watching with me the whole race. Thanks to everybody at Racing for a Cause for putting together a good league, and thanks to everyone at Turn 3 for broadcasting it.
Well, we do appreciate it. Best of luck. Elbows up for the rest of this thing, and we will catch up with you a little bit later.
That's it. Thanks, guys.
That was 31 of Ricky Harden giving us a quick word here as we are under caution once again. And now let's see here, who else can we talk to? Let's see if maybe we can't talk to the driver of the 8 machine. That is none other than Doug Johnson. Doug, you got your ears on, buddy?
Yeah, boy, I got you, Kevin.
Doug, you qualified on pole here tonight. You find yourself in 4th place as the lights go out on the pace car. What's it going to take to put this 8 in victory lane tonight?
Well, it looks like it's going to take a whole lot of luck.
All right. With that being said, and the lights out on the pace car, what's your plan here for this green-white checkered attempt?
Well, I think I'm just going to try to push AJ just as hard as I can for the first lap at least, and then see what happens on the next time around.
All right, man. Well, we'll let you get to planning that, but before we let you go, shout-outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
I'd just like to give a shout-out to all my teammates. They had some bad luck tonight, and thanks, Troy, for putting all this on, and appreciate you guys broadcasting.
That is the driver of the 8 machine, Doug Johnson. Started from the pole here tonight. Right now finds himself 2nd car in the outside lane as we are working our first white checkered attempt here tonight. Row number 1 for this restart. The 99 of Justin Rigsby, the 17 of AJ Rogers. And then row number 2 will be Christopher Spencer in the 21 and the 8 of Doug Johnson. These drivers gonna try and lay it all out there, but let's not count out the 08 of Tom Quattlebaum and the 88 of Dale Osbin. This race is not over yet, and everyone has a shot at winning this thing.
And I'm gonna give them the dreaded broadcaster's curse. I want to see that sun drop machine in victory lane here, KR. That looks nice. Makes me thirsty.
He has been slowly working his way to the front, sniffing out a top 5 finish here. He has got to find a way to hold on to it and survive the carnage that can happen at a green-white checkered attempt here at Talladega. But the 99 of Justin Rigsby keeping the field in check as we get ready to go green flag racing once again here at Talladega. Spencer in the 21, big wiggle, got into the 8 of Doug Johnson a little bit. That is going to stack the field up behind him. Dale Osmond didn't quite know what to do there for a moment, and now it looks like the inside lane gonna form up very quickly, but the outside lane just as fast now has 3 cars nose to tail with each other. But down the backstretch, Justin Rigsby in the 99 holding on to the lead as AJ Rogers trying to mount a charge in that outer lane.
Outside lane, just 1 car now, as the middle lane is the place to be. Looks like Dale Osmond was looking 3 wide. He jumps out there. Spencer in the 21 looks to the middle now. He's got to push from, I don't even know who that is. I believe that's Doug Johnson that pushed him. Eric Blunt looking to move with Spencer now to the outside, all the way to 3 wide. Last lap of the race, white flag KR, and these drivers are moving around a lot as they come around to the backstretch.
We do have a car that is sideways. That was the 4 of Mike Massengill. He is not able to finish this one as he got caught up in the turn 1 incident. But these drivers with the white flag, there goes the missile in the 65. He's getting turned, but the green flag stays out as we continue to race to the checkered flag. The 99 of Justin Rigsby, the 8 of Doug Johnson, as they are working their way through the triangle. Johnson gets turned, but he straightens it out, trying to make it to the start-finish line, and Justin Rigsby gonna win it by a nose. Tom Quattlebaum finishing 2nd, Doug Wysocki in the 4th, in the 3rd, and 4th place going to Dale Osmond, with rounding out your top 5, Ricky All-Star Harden. What a finish that was.
Absolutely crazy finish there. We had a few drivers sideways there in 3 and 4. Brian Skell Jr. caught up, a few other ones as well. Right there coming to the checkered flag. Another incident for a crazy finish here. Man, what a show.
Doug Johnson got turned trying to go through the tri-oval. Christopher Spencer got launched like a rocket. Spinks got into the wall, and Calamity behind them as well. But man, oh man, Justin Rigsby in the 99 is your race winner. And guys, we're gonna set up our post-race show. No one go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment to talk to our top 3 finishers. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we have caught up with our race winner. That is the 99 of Justin Rigsby. Justin, congratulations on the race win. You led 25 laps to get it done here tonight at Talladega, and that 99 machine looks like it has been through a battle to do it.
Man, that was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the finish was something spectacular. It looked like for the moment the 8 had the run on you in the tri-oval, but then contact issues and the 99 survives. Tell us about your race here tonight.
Man, it was fun. I just hope it was as exciting on the broadcast as it felt like in the car. We ran up front all race, and Matt stuck with me a bunch of it, and Dylan was up there early, helping out, and tried to stay on pit strategy with everybody else, and it seemed to work out there at the end. And yeah, I did come to the trial. I thought Doug was going to get me for sure, but I'm not sure what happened. I know kind of clustered up there pretty quick, and we just came out in front. And man, that's awesome.
Well, the 99 picking up its first win of the season. Dustin, this race, 75 laps, the scheduled distance, 1 green-white checkered attempt to survive it. When we saw some green flag pit stops out there, and tell us how you were able to survive everything and make this 99 the Talladega Mission 22 champion.
We just tried to race smart. Try not to do anything too crazy, no 3 wides, nothing like that when it wasn't necessary. Them pit stops, we practiced a little bit in practice getting on pit road under green, and I think that really paid off and made sure we wouldn't slide through the box, especially with these hot tires. They'll slide easily. So we was able to stay out of trouble, and other than trying to be smart with a decent strategy, it's more so luck when you come to these super speedways, and it just so happened to be on our side tonight.
Well, man, congratulations on the race win. Any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
Yeah, everybody on this car, water.org, Consolidated Pipe and Supply, Ryan's Fatted Calf, Dude Wipes, Heritage Barbershop. Also like to thank Star Legacy Foundation that's recently come on board with our super late model. Again, my teammates helping me run up there. Big thanks to Matt as well. Keeping me up there for the most part. I hate he got in a little bit of trouble on that last set of pit stops, but we was able to prevail, and couldn't have been a better race to do it.
Well, Justin, congratulations on the race win once again. Go celebrate and have a good time, man.
Thanks, KR. Appreciate it.
So Justin Rigsby, your race winner out here tonight. But now it's time to talk to our second place finisher, and that is the 08 of Tom Quattlebaum. Tom, congratulations on second place here tonight. Tell us a little bit about your race.
Hey, KR, it was a little bit up and down. It was a lot of fun. This is a race where it's good to kind of keep an eye on who's doing what, and to have a lot of friends. And I feel good with my race. I kept it clean until that last incident there, and I decided not to try to fix the damage, and it actually sucked up pretty good, and I thought I could get Justin there with my buddy Doug pushing me, but it was good. It was up and down. I was up front when I felt like I needed to be up front, and fell to the rear when I felt like I needed to be in the rear. So I feel pretty good about my race.
Well, Tom, congratulations on the second place finish here tonight. I believe that is your best finish on the season. What's it going to take for you to win one of these now that you got a second place?
It takes a lot of practice to run with these guys, and almost second place is almost worst place I could finish, because I really felt pretty confident coming into this race, and but basically I got to put in seat time. I got a lot of good mentors from a lot of people on my teams and different teams and affiliations. It's going to take me. There's a lot of talent, so I got to fix me in order to win a race.
Well, Tom, again, congratulations on the second place finish here tonight. Any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
Oh yeah, man, this is a long time coming, so I got all kinds of people to thank. We got Tyler Hilton and his Falcon Motorsports group, with Troy and Chris and Doug. We're always bouncing ideas off each other and making each other stronger, better racers. Also got to thank the guys over at the pit stall. Doug Johnson, John Johnson, Sean Wilder. show me a lot on these big plate tracks, and I get a lot of experience with those guys. And then there's a lot of drivers I talk to throughout the week and give me some tidbits of information. So man, everybody on the car, Hilton, Southern Conservation Trust, man, I just appreciate Racing for a Cause and the Vaportrail clothing line that supports us and lets us race. And thanks, KR, for broadcasting like you do.
All right, that is Tom Quattlebaum, driver of the 08 machine. Tom, once again, congratulations on second place.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Now it's time to move on to our third place finisher, and that is the driver of the 45 machine, Doug Wysocki. Doug, you got the ears on, bud?
KR, what's up, buddy?
Man,
Glad to
oh
talk to you.
man. Doug, it has been a long time coming, and I am going to look forward to this interview with you. That 45 machine finishing in third place here tonight, and I'll tell you what, you snuck into that third place here all night long. You had a solid race, slowly working your way to the front, and then the checkered flag falls, and here you are in third place.
Yeah, man, I had a fast car, man. I just got caught in the pits that my one last pit stop there, man. I lost a draft, and so thanks to Bobby Summers and a few of them other guys, Damon Cox, for sticking with me there and helping me try to get back to the front. So that caution was a blessing for me. Fast race car. I had a blast, man. I had a blast. I had wheel problems before this thing even started, whether it even go to race or not. So it all worked out.
Well, it worked out great for you, the 45, putting it in third place. This season for you has been one of a quiet season, but consistency for sure, as you came into tonight 11th place in the points standings. How you feel your season has been?
Yeah, it's been up and down, but I got some great teammates that helped me through things, and I'm hanging in there, man. Just like Tom was saying, seat time. I need a lot more of it to start getting a win here. Restrictor plate race is one thing, but I got to get better on the other tracks. So yeah, just keep plugging along, man.
Well, Doug, the 45, with this third place finish, we get to say to you, any shout outs, thank you, sponsors you need to mention?
Like always, Decline for Parkinson's. Falcon Motorsports, all my teammates, Troy Radford, Chris Medford, Tyler Hilton for putting it together, Tom Quattlebaum, you up in the booth, turn 3, everybody's great, man. I appreciate everything.
All right, that is the driver of the 45 machine, Doug Wysocki. And Doug, congratulations on third place here tonight.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it, man.
All right, guys, that is gonna wrap it up for us here at Talladega. Nothing left but to go through our finishing results here tonight, and that is going to be Justin Rigsby, your race winner. Tom Quattlebaum in the 08 finishing second. Third place going to Doug Wysocki. Dale Osmond in the 88 gonna finish fourth. Fifth place going to Ricky Harden. Sixth going to Doug Johnson. Seventh place Chris Medford. Eighth will be Eric Blount. Ninth, Matthew Spinks. Bobby Summers finishing 10th. 11th will be Troy Radford. 12th will be the missile, Brian Miskell. The 13th spot finisher, Chad Meadows. Chris Spencer in the 21 machine finishing 14th. 15th going to AJ Rogers. Steve Baker in the 55 machine finishing in 16th spot. 17th going to Dustin German. 18th going to Damon Cox. 19th will be Cade Green, and Mike Massengill finishing 20th place tonight as our race patron. 21st going to Stephen Allen. Jeffrey Stiles 22nd. 23rd Ray Radford. 24th Aaron Tolhurst. 25th will be Tyler Hilton. Dustin Ping finishing 26th, with Dylan Blankenship in the 51 finishing 27th. 28th will be Russell Brown Jr. 29th will be Rick Greenaway John Johnson finishing 30th, 31st Joe Sanders, and Joshua Spalding rounding out this 32 car field here tonight. So I want to give a thank you to everyone joining us tonight. Sorry for the internet. That would be something outside of my control. I hope you all understand. I appreciate everyone who stuck around for that wild and awesome finish. And I also want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Dave Worrell for joining me in the booth here tonight. So guys, thank you for joining me. Hope you all enjoyed the show, and I look forward to seeing you next time right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.